Hi, my friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are planting tulips here at the Garden Center. Yes, we have over 3,000 tulip bulbs just here at the Garden Center that is on the docket to be planted. But first, there is yet another new project that we are going to begin today because, we already are building a dock-up production. So that's project number one. Project number two. We're extending the barn and making it bigger. So why not add another project? I joke and I say that wintertime is the slower part of life here at Creekside Nursery. And in a way it is, but in a way it is not at all because my gosh, y'all, this is when we do projects. So what is the project I'm talking about? Well, let me tell you, we're gonna completely redesign 2 of the flower beds here at the Garden Center. Those of you that are viewers and watchers of Gardening with Creekside, you are very familiar with these 2 flower beds here in front of the greenhouse at the Garden Center. We use these beds to display new introductions that will be coming out the next year, and just to highlight plants that we just think are fantastic. So what we are going to do, you can see that Jerry is coming down in the cat because we're going to need him. We are going to completely redesign these 2 flower beds. We want to make it a little bit more attractive, a little bit more, quote, formal, I guess you would want to say. So we're going to consolidate these 2 beds and make them into one. We're going to remove the gravel pathway that connects kind of like the parking lot up to the greenhouse. And we're going to make one large flower bed beginning here where these pink flags are. So from the pink flags, both the one that in the gravel and at the top of the bed, so that will be the right side of the bed, and that bed will go all the way across the front of the greenhouse, the pergola, and will come down to where these 2 pink flags are. Now, of course, nothing can be just as simple as saying, oh, well, we're just going to consolidate the beds. Oh, no, no. Have you met my husband? He is quite the dreamer, which has worked out really well for us. But what we're going to do is basically this bed is going to be a rectangular shape. It's not going to be a perfect rectangle simply because of the lay of the land, and if you did a perfect rectangle, then it would be wonky looking up here. So the back end edge going along between the pergola and the greenhouse is going to be a straight edge. So it's going to be the perfect distance, the same distance rather, from the edge of the greenhouse, the edge of the pergola to the flower bed. Down here, it will be a straight line, but this end of the bed is going to be more narrow, and then that is going to be a little bit wider down there. It's going to be enclosed with a stone wall. So a very kind of that low, if you want to call it like a knee wall kind of thing, but a decorative decorative stone. Think about the wall at the house along the driveway, right? So a couple of courses up, nice cap on the top, and then on each end, there will be columns that we can put planters on it. Really nice kind of to frame in this new bed. And so we're going to begin that, quote, construction today because we have 1,000 tulip bulbs that have to go in this bed. Because of course, when I ordered the tulips from Color Blends months ago, this was not necessarily on the docket. So we were talking about it and I was like, honey, we're gonna have to put a pin in the barn, do this because the tulips have got to go in the ground and we need to know where they're going to go. So today the plan is that he here in just a second is going to use the cat to scrape that gravel, because gravel is precious and gravel is money, my friends. And so we're going to scrape all of that good gravel that we can maintain, that we can save, bring it down. We can add it in here because it always needs some gravel, and then dig it out, get the gravel out, and so that we can plant tulips in this section. Now, because the wall is not, we don't even have the stone, we don't have any of that, we're going to kind of keep a perimeter, a buffer between where we know where this wall is going to go, and then of course you have to go so many inches back to dig it out and all of that. So we're going to have a loose footprint of where to put these 1,000 tulips that are going. So speaking of the tulips, they arrived yesterday from Color Blends, so let me show them to you. So Brittany and Cece are helping me, well, they're not helping me, they're doing it, get all of the tulips organized, because we have 2 different blends that are going to come be planted in the signature garden. We have Pinkster, which is going in the space that I just showed you, and then we have Much Niceness that is going into the signature garden. And then at the house, I have 3 different kinds of tulips. So what is going in the space we were just in is Pinkster. And so Pinkster is a blend of, guess what? Pink, yes. So it is pink, yellow, and white. And that is Much Niceness also in the signature garden is going to be pink, yellow, and white. However, they're different, a little bit different shades, and they are different shapes. So I originally was going to do all Much Niceness everywhere here at the nursery, but I was late putting my order in, and they did not have enough of Much Niceness for me to do everybody. So I divided it up. It works. Also, the great thing is with Color Blends, one, they have absolutely amazing product. Like, I know a ton of people use Color Blends, right? Just high quality, you get gorgeous blooms, just absolutely love them. I also love and appreciate the fact that they will pre-chill my bulbs for me. Because I am North Carolina, a zone 8, it is cold right now, but it does not stay consistently cold for the tulips to have a winter. And so you have to pre-chill the bulbs for like 8 to 10 weeks so that they go through that false winter, so they know exactly, okay, this is, you know, I'm not supposed to be blooming in January. So Color Blends will do it for me. I know that there is a minimum, you have to order so many bulbs, and then there's like a flat rate that they charge you, which is very, very reasonable. So that is a huge service, because I could not buy enough I could buy enough refrigerators. I don't want to buy enough refrigerators to house thousands of tulip bulbs. So that is a huge plus. If you're interested in any kind of spring flowering bulb, I would highly recommend Color Blends. Right now, they do still have some bulbs available. Obviously, their inventory is limited. I think that what they do have, a lot of that stuff is on sale. So you can check out Color Blends. But ideally, the time to place your order is in late spring, early summer when they open it up. So basically, it's a pre-order, right? So you place your order, what you want. You know, the early bird gets the worm. I was late, and so I didn't get all of the Much Niceness that I wanted. Totally my fault. Then they hold it for you if you want to have them pre-chill. You check that if you meet the qualifications for that, and then they will ship it to you based off of your growing zone. Very much like what we do with our pre-orders. So fantastic. All right. So once we get going, I'll show you, we'll do some more talking about the tulips and how to plant them and all that other stuff. But first, we've got to do some demo and go over here and get this bed ready for, yeah, Pinkster. 1,000 Pinksters got to go in today. So the gravel was removed from the walkway, and then he just piled them up right here on the edge, so we will reuse that. And then beginning to kind of redistribute the soil, right? So if you're thinking of that the beds where the pink flags are, then we're going to keep all of that great soil, because my gosh, over the years we have just amended that soil. And so we're going to put it back kind of into that bed and get everything put in there. So, I mean, if y'all know our soil, that red clay, but look how beautiful this soil is from all the years of amending it. Absolutely fantastic. So Jerry's just kind of redistributing all of the soil. Obviously we took out some plants, right? So we took out some plants, we took out that little retaining wall, all sorts of things. So we have plans as far as reusing those plants. That's why Jackson was careful when he was taking them out with the excavator. I'm going to show you the hibiscus and the Nephofia here in just a second, because the root systems, oh my goodness. But Jerry is getting all of, like I said, all of that good yummy soil all redistributed, so it'll be easy to plant the tulips. And we did get rid of the small circular wall that was behind the that Asian water bowl that had the little lime hydrangea in it. That bowl, that urn with the hydrangea, will go somewhere. We just don't know where it's going to go yet. So we just got it out of the way, because it just did not make sense with the future plans for this flower bed to keep that pot in here with that circular wall. So brand new things coming here to Creekside. So I'm going to go show you the hibiscus and the Nephofia. Jerry just kind of put everything back here on the back side of the pines. So there's the pot. It'll be just fine sitting there until we figure out what we're going to do with it. And then here are the hibiscus and the Nephofias. We had 3 of the Summerific Evening Rose, Summerific hibiscus. These are perennials, gorgeous. And then I think we had 4 of the Nephofias. We are going to put them somewhere. Like I said, I just don't know quite where we're going to put them yet. But the hibiscus, I mean, massive roots on these guys. We're going to need to put them somewhere they're going to be nice and damp, because they love those damp conditions, but they need enough sun. I have kind of an idea, but I'm not quite sure yet. So this is kind of on the back burner for right now. The main goal of today, of course, is to get those tulips in the ground. So what's going to happen now is Jerry's going to kind of keep evening out. Evening? That doesn't make any sense. He's going to even out the soil, continue doing that to get it nice and kind of smooth, so that way we know where we can plant those tulips. So we're going to do that, and then we might actually, I don't know where we're going to start. Wherever the sun is, that's where we're going to plant. But we're going to do it as a whole, it's going to be a staff building exercise of planting tulips today. So, man, just looks so dramatically different already. It's crazy. If you blink for 2 seconds around here, things can dramatically change. And that is certainly the case today here at Creekside. So the fun continues. Alrighty, so we have just started to plant the Pinkster blend here in front of the greenhouse. So basically we've got Jerry and Jackson are using the Jenny's Edition 9-inch heavy duty tip. So what we're going to do is, we learned this last year, makes it go so much faster. Create those nice 9-inch holes about 6 inches deep, because that's how deep the tulips need to go. And then we put about 8 tulips per hole. And so we're going to kind of do, we got 2 folks are dropping the tulips in, and then the rest of us will come back, spread the tulip bulbs so they're evenly in the hole, and then put the soil back on top. Now y'all, for the sake of time, we ain't using biotone. I know I always say use it, but you know what? Time is of the essence, and we're just not going to use it today. Besides, also, these tulips are not, tulips for us are annuals, so we're just skipping it. It is what it is. There's grace in gardening. And good thing is Before, we were always really like particular, making sure it was pointy side up. But on color blends, their planting instructions, it says that it's not completely necessary, that the bulbs will find their way. The roots know to go down and the shoots go up. So we're just gonna make sure that they're in there and then go for it. Because again, 1,000 pinksters are going here, and we've got 2,200 much niceness to go into the signature garden, and that is our goal, is to get both of these planted today. And it's already like 1:30 in the afternoon, and you know, here it is in the middle of December. The sun basically sets at 3 o'clock, so we want to move with purpose. The two blends, the colors will blend together. They will complement each other. We're going in those pinks, those whites, and those yellows. So Pinkster is a white, a nice bright yellow, and then a pink that has like some stripes in it. So very, very cute, very excited. So we're gonna get to planting the bulbs. Alrighty, my friends, so just like that, we got the 3,200 tulips planted down here at the garden center in the signature garden, and then in front of the greenhouse. I'm telling you what, when you have the labor, you got lots of little hands, and you have kind of your system down pat, my gosh, it is like a game changer. I think we did those tulips in like an hour. So I think that's pretty darn good. There were three, how many were there of us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 of us? I think there was 8 of us doing it. Made a huge difference. But let me show you where we put them here in the signature garden. In front of the boxwoods, on each side going into the entrance, there is a double, I believe it's a double row. I don't think it's a triple row. I think it's a double row. So we've got plenty of them right there. Then when you come into the garden, we heavily planted each of the corners. So the 4 corners, and then we have a row going down in front of the little lime punches. We have them chocked full here in the 4 inside annual beds. So these 4 beds are absolutely filled with them. I want to say there were roughly like 400 per bed, something like that. around 250 around the fountain. So they are jammed in there. And then coming here on the back bed where we have the glitters and glows viburnums, what we did, because the viburnums are getting nice and big, which is a wonderful thing, we did a nice big clump between each of the viburnums. We did not put it here on the front side because that's the walking path. So then they are between each one down there. So then that was a couple of holes on each side of on each side of the beds. So we have the Much Niceness blend is, again, we've talked about this before. That is the same blend that we planted in front of the pergola last year. And y'all, when I tell you that when they were in bloom, the customers, they would just stand there and stare at them because they were unbelievably gorgeous. It is a beautiful blend of, again, the whites, the yellows, and the pinks, but you get a whole variety of shapes and sizes and kind of, quote, styles of the tulips in there. And so that is really, really fun to have them. And so it's going to be neat to see how everything blooms. I personally like getting the tulips that bloom, are considered like early to mid bloomers, because we are in North Carolina and it's really important for me to try to get my annuals, my summer annuals, in the ground as soon as I possibly can. You can tell that I'm walking and I'm working as I'm talking to you. So it's very important for me to get my summer annuals in the landscape as quickly as I can because of our heat and humidity in the summertime. And so if I get like late blooming tulips, then that really pushes wherein I can put those summer annuals in the ground. So I like those early to mids, fantastic. Now, tomorrow we're going to, because it finally started to warm up, I finally could wear no gloves. I guess I'm a sissy with the cold. But tomorrow afternoon, we're gonna go plant the tulips at the house. So we had 3,200 here at the house. We have 2,200 that are gonna go there. Don't know that we're gonna film that because once you see somebody plant tulips, you see somebody plant tulips, right? But maybe once they're in the ground, then in a subsequent video, I can explain who has gone where and the colors and everything. But again, this year seems to be the theme of the pink and the yellow. So that is what, that's what's going at the house too. We have 2 different shades of pink and then a yellow, but super excited about that. We can knock it out tomorrow. It'll be great. Sun will be out. It'll be warmer in the afternoon. Praise the Lord. So it has been a fantastic day. You can see that Jerry is smoothing out the gravel in front of the newly renovated, designed bed. And yeah, so there you go. Of course, we'll keep you updated on this. Don't know that anything's going to happen super anytime soon on that, but we'll keep you updated. What we are going to do is, because everywhere that we planted tulips today is like bare exposed soil, so we're going to come back through and do a nice thick layer of mulch. And so the goal today was simply to get them in the ground. Then we can come back and mulch and have a mulching party with the whole staff. So if you found this fun, informative, inspirational, funny, hilarious, whatever you want to say, we would love it if you would like and subscribe. That way you don't miss those 5 videos that we do each and every week. Y'all have an amazing day. If you can get out there and get some vitamin D, get some vitamin D. See you in the next video. Bye, friends.